Hey, hey, hey. Happy Sunday. How are y'all? It is September 25th. Boy, September is wasting no time getting in and getting out. I am Coach Yolanda. I'm happy to be with you for Mama Meditations this Sunday. I look a little different. Um, just as the seasons are changing, I decided to change some things up. I hope that you are all doing well. If you are watching live, say hi in the chat or in the comments so I can greet you and say hello as well. If you are watching on YouTube, please do the same. I'm just happy to be here with you guys, whether it is live or whether it is in a replay. The fact that we can gather our thoughts, our feelings, our behavior through meditation and maybe learn something new about ourselves, about someone else. Last week, I felt like I was yelling at y'all talking about love. This week, I will try to be a little bit more calm when it comes to affection. And interestingly enough, the lesson for affection came from an unlikely source. Um, one of my grandpups, one of my dogs. And because we haven't had him long, we are still trying to figure him out. And as we try to figure out who he is and he's learning about us, the past couple of days he's just been really, really needy. And not that he's sick, we're sure that he's not sick. And I just said to my daughter, I said, you know what? It's colder in the house than it has been because of the change of seasons. And maybe he's cold. Maybe he's not comfortable as he was. And he's looking for comfort. And that is the perfect way to describe affection. When you either desire comfort or you want to comfort someone, when you are you know, feeling someone, when you are connected to someone, that's where affection can come in. We often think of it in the physical sense, but affection is really a spiritual activity. You opening your heart to someone else and then opening it even further to make sure that you are concerned with their comfort, you are concerned with your comfort. And as we in my morning group, we've been talking about love all year. Here we are in the ninth month of this year, and we're talking about mutuality and reciprocity and sharing love with another. We're getting ready to talk about romance. We 9 months in, and we haven't even talked about romance just yet. We'll talk about that in the next chapter in October. But to get to this place where we are comfortable talking about affection, where you can meditate on it, because here's the thing: we in our human experience, which is not limited to just humans. I just talked about how my dog is experiencing the desire and need for comfort. We in our human experience need affection. We need it. Physical affection can be a hand holding another hand, a hug, some kind of concern that we have for one another. Now, we can deny it, we can say it's not a priority, we can do all manner of things, but the body, the mind, the spirit is designed for affection, for your heart to be connected to someone outside of yourself. Now, certainly you should be having affection for yourself. You should be concerned about your care, your comfort. But when it comes to other people, this is where sometimes we'll come up with all kind of rules and regulations. And so I would like for us to meditate today and get some clarity on what affection means in our life, wherever you are in your life, whether you are in a relationship or not, whether the affection that you are seeking is in your work. Because hopefully, if you work outside of your home, whether you work from home or not, if you are extending yourself outside of your home, outside of your environment, I hope that you are doing so with something that you care about and that you gain great affection from the work that you do. Now, we can't all be so privileged and so blessed to be in positions to work in professions where what we give is what we receive, that reciprocal energy. It would be a wonderful world if every single person was satisfied with their employment in such a way that you knew it was a loving environment where you jumped up every single morning or in the evening, whatever time it is that you get to work or whatever it is that you do. And you had this sense of, I'm going to be comforted today. I'm going to be taken care of well. I love the environment that I work in. Some of us, unfortunately, may not feel that in our personal lives, where there is a longing, there is a desire for more affection in your life, and you can't quite figure it out, or it has not unfolded in the way that you thought that it would. And so, as you are coming into the room and we are preparing for meditation, I ask that you make sure you're comfortable, make sure you have something to hydrate with. If at any time the offering feels out of sorts, take care of yourself first. Have great affection for yourself. Take care of yourself. If you need to step away, step away. This is being recorded. You can come back to it at some other time. We are going to be talking about affection, but we're going to be expanding our minds. We're not just going to speak on physical affection or attraction. We're going to start where all things begin, and that is within our own bodies, within our own personal environment, and then extend outwardly to see just where we're at. One of the great things about meditation is if you quiet your mind enough, you can see where you're at. You may not know where you are in terms of feelings about affection. You may be the type of person that feels like, yeah, intimacy is not my thing, vulnerability, not my thing, don't want to get too close, don't want to go too deep. It is essential for the human experience that affection, care, concern, recognition is a part of your life in some shape or form. If you, and I give you a gold star, if you are still in the business of loving other people, whether it's your family, your friends, people you encounter in your work environment, if you still desire to share space with and love with and affection with other people, then wouldn't it benefit you greatly to meditate and to see where you are personally when it comes to affection? Does that word itself make you feel some kind of way? That's good information for you to have. And knowing that affection is a spiritual activity, somewhere, some entity, some energy, the God of your understanding has care, concern, and affection for you. And so, if that energy is present between you and whatever God you serve, why would you not want to share that with yourself and with others? And if there are things that have happened in your life that make it difficult for you to get to that level of intimacy, that level of care, that level of concern, then now would be a good time to meditate on it, check in with yourself, and see where you are. So, as you're coming in, if you could do me a favor, let me know who you are, let me know where you're at. Here I am in the tiny little state of Delaware. It's cold, y'all. So I'm certainly looking for more care and concern. As we are all dealing with the change in seasons, we may also start to recognize there's a change within us. And there are particular things that are now a priority that may not have been a priority a couple of weeks ago. And as we are moving into the holiday season, those desires, those longings may come to the forefront, and they may now be a priority for you. And if you are not prepared, if you are not clear on what it is that you desire, I mean clear, crystal clear, now's a good time to get clear, to gain some clarity. So let's start with, as we always do, in taking some deep breaths. For those of you who feel like, I don't know how to meditate, you're doing it right now. Anytime you bow your head, anytime you sit in silence, consider that a meditation. You want to go deeper? Then let's practice. Take some deep breaths. And as you Continue to breathe and come into more control of your breathing and of your breath. Check your environment. Make sure that you are comfortable and that you are not impacting someone else's comfort. As we begin to meditate, we want to make sure that we are not disrupting someone else, because then you really are not comfortable. You might be okay. But if you are, or if my voice is disrupting someone else, then see if you can go to another room, another space where you can gain some more comfort, making sure that you are not impacting others, making sure that this is your time. How long are we going to be? Who knows? At any point in time, if you feel like you need to break off of the meditation, that's fine. We're recording. You can come back later. You can come back later. Again, if there are any concerns or comments, you can put them in the chat. You feel free to let your eyes close. I'm going to keep mine open so that I can see if anyone needs anything, if there's anything that I need to address. Make sure that everyone can hear me, can see me. Continue to breathe. Let's not forget that. Knowing that in this right now moment, as we continue to breathe together, whether we are watching live or on a recording, we are on one accord, that in this moment, we are calling in peace. We are calling in balance. We are asking for one of our desires to be met, and that is desire of stillness, quieting our mind, quieting all of the energy that's motivating us to lose focus at times, to put our attention elsewhere. Right now, we want all focus, all attention, all intention to be within our body. And as you continue to breathe, do a quick scan of your body. Wherever you'd like to start, whether it's from your toes or the top of your head or any place in between, start to do a scan of your body. See how you're feeling. Is there anything that feels tight? Anything that you wished were a little looser, a little less stressed? Ask for that right now. Breathe into that space. Maybe it's your knees. Maybe it's your lower back. Sometimes it's the shoulders. It always seems to be the shoulders where you may need to drop them low. Maybe rotate them back. Maybe there's some tightness in your neck where a little stretch to the left and to the right may support you in easing some of the stress and strain in your neck. Maybe it's in your belly. Maybe you haven't eaten yet, and your body is saying, I need something. I need nourishment. I need comfort. I need to be taken care of. And while we can absolutely be in tune with that on a physical level, let's make sure that we are also in tune with that on a spiritual level. Ask your body, is there something that you've been needing that I have not been giving you, that you haven't received? And maybe one of those things is affection. Maybe that pain or that concern in your lower back isn't just because there's a pain in your lower back. Maybe that's your body trying to tell you, hey, I haven't been hugged in quite some time. I haven't had anybody check in on me. I haven't been checking in on myself. And so my body is yelling louder and louder. Will you please check on me? Will you please make sure that I am okay? Will you feed me the food that I need to be at my best? Will you please provide me with clean, fresh water, clear air, some movement? Sometimes our body is clicking and clacking, and the best thing that we can give to ourselves is to move. Maybe there's some energy stored in your body somewhere, in your organs, in your muscles. that is asking to be transformed. And as you continue to take some deep breaths, and I continue to guide us through different levels of intimacy and recognition and care and concern, I want you to focus right now on one of the first things that people may recognize about you. Acknowledging that not everyone has the same vision, same sight. For those of us who have power over our vision, we're looking at each other. First thing people may notice about you is your face. So I want us to all concentrate on our face. How often are you looking at yourself in mirrors, on your phone? How kind are you when you do? Are you looking at yourself to be critical? Or are you looking at yourself the way in which someone who is totally in love with you would look? Hmm. I know for many of us, we are looking in mirrors to look for imperfections and how we can change it. How often are we looking in the mirror to talk about just how unique and wonderful we are? And so, as you continue to take some deep breaths, I want you to envision that you are looking in a mirror and the first thing you see is your beautiful face. You're not going to see that face anywhere else. You may see elements of it in your children, if you have some. You may see elements of it in your parents. You may have your grandmother's nose. Someone may have told you, oh, you've got a widow's peak, just like your grandfather. If you have siblings, people may be able to see that you are related because your faces look similar. But your face, you're not going to find that face anywhere until you look in the mirror. How often are you looking at yourself and not looking through yourself? How often are you admiring your eyes, your nose, your lips? The interesting thing is that you never get the version that everyone else gets. You only get that mirror version. And so when others are looking upon your face, they're seeing so many different things that you will never see. And so if someone looks at you and says that they love you, do you believe it? I see you, Sabrina, and I'm wanting that for you too. With all of the labels you just gave yourself, how often are you giving yourself the label of I am beautiful? You said, I am a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a stepmother, I'm an ICU nurse, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter. Sabrina, how about we start with I am beautiful? And my beauty is extended from what I do for others. My beauty is extended to me as well. When I look at myself, I'm amazed. I am amazed at what I see. The tone of my skin, the curve in my cheekbones. How often are we looking at ourselves? And I want you to visualize, and if you have a mirror next to you or near you, pull it out. Start to look at yourself and not in a critical way. Start to look at yourself like you are in love with what you see. That's affection. Start to look at yourself and wonder, not what do other people see in me, but start to tell yourself, I see what other people see in me. My smile is engaging. And I offer it up to people even when I am not feeling my best. I still offer up a smile. I still offer up light in my eyes, a kind word. That all comes from this beautiful thing you have, this face of yours. steps out into the world, lights up a room, and we don't even give the same consideration to what it is that we see when we look in the mirror. We're like, oh, my hair doesn't look the way it used to. My skin is not as smooth. Oh, is that another wrinkle? Is that another this? Is that another that? You have no idea how your face in particular spaces changes everything, not just with the people who know you and love you, but with strangers. You may never understand the impact your face has on others. And so, as we are giving so much to everyone else, let's start giving affection and intimacy and closeness to ourselves. I just had an experience. Let's all take some deep breaths. Just had an experience of being in a place where I recognized I was the only woman of color until I saw another woman of color, and this ease and this comfort started to come over my body. You have no idea how your presence makes others feel. And yet we are being so critical of ourselves so often. And so, for all of the affection that we give to others, let's start with ourselves. Continue to check in with your body. If even thinking about giving concern, care, recognition to yourself makes you feel selfish, makes you feel any kind of way, take a deep breath on that and recognize the best version of you needs to be in love with you just as much as you are in love with other people. You have to begin with yourself. Thank you for your comment, Sabrina. And so, if anyone else is feeling similar ways where you can list all of the different things that you are to other people, start with I am beautiful, I am caring, I am loving. I am going to begin from this moment forward to give myself all of the things that I give to so many others. I'm going to focus on being affectionate. I'm not going to dismiss it or delay it any further in my life. I'm not going to wait for somebody else to give it to me. I'm going to give it to myself. So much so that if someone desires to share in the way that I love myself, I already know the appropriate amount, the appropriate manner in which they can do so. Affection exceeds just physical touch. It means appreciating who you are, appreciating others, saying kind and nice words, doing nice and kind things for yourself without feeling guilty about it. How many of us can look ourselves in the eyes and say, I deserve to be taken care of? I deserve to be thought of first. I deserve to be a priority in my life and in the life of others. I am deserving of comfort. So many of us got the message in the memo that somehow we have to suffer in order to receive and be deserving of love. I don't know where y'all read that at. I don't know where I read it at, but I throw that book away. I am deserving of comfort. I am deserving of peace. I am deserving of recognition. Continue to take some deep breaths and think about, again, your face. Just your face alone is deserving of recognition. Your smile, your eyes, the way you enter into spaces And for any one of you who have a connection with a child, have you ever looked in your children or your grandchildren's eyes, or maybe you're a teacher, have you ever looked at the eyes of a child when you enter the room? Best feeling in the world. And you are deserving of that. I'm waiting for my grandbaby girl later, and when she sees me, the look on her face is enough to melt away all of the other nonsense that I have to deal with on a day to day basis. And so, if you can generate that emotion in somebody who hasn't been here long, then surely you are deserving of that kind of reaction every time you enter any room. And so often we are so reserved and we don't want to share what's going on with us when we see someone we love, when we see someone we care about. And sometimes we don't even do it for ourselves. If you've made it through the night and the good Lord has given you breath in your lungs, you better go run to the mirror and say, thank goodness I get to look at this face one more time. Thank goodness I get to touch this skin one more time. And it may not look the way it looked 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but you're still here, which means you are still deserving of affection. If we can generate affection for those who are no longer here, then certainly we can generate that same affection for ourselves. So we've been focusing on our face. We could stay there, but let's focus on our entire body. My goodness, my God. Surely our bodies may not move the way that they used to, but if you have breath in your lungs, then you are deserving of some recognition. It's rough out here, y'all, and we know how many people we have lost. Sabrina, as an ICU nurse, you see it every day. You see it every day. How precious life is, how precious every breath that we take really, really is. Let us not diminish the privilege of sharing space with one another because we none of us knows how long we have. And if I have time to spend with you and to share with you, I'm going to recognize what a privilege that is. I'm not going to squander the time that we have together. So let's think about all of the individuals that we haven't seen in quite some time. I see my cousin is watching. My goodness, how I miss you. Individuals that I haven't seen, that I haven't hugged, that I haven't held in quite some time. Let us use the affection that is residing in each and every single one of us to extend care and concern, not just to ourselves, by recognizing I need to see my people. I love my people. Extend that out to them as well. Maybe there's someone you need to call just to say, I miss you. Sometimes we leave those things on our lips and in our heart and we never speak it. And we do not know if we are missing opportunities to be affectionate with one another just by saying, I love you, I miss you. I just wanted to hear your voice. That is also a function of affection. Again, that is a spiritual concept. I don't have to be near you in order to touch you. I can use my words to let you know that I'm thinking about you. And so often, many of us have entire conversations in our heads that we never actually have happen. So let's think about perhaps in this week alone, it's Sunday, we got 7 other days to go through. Who do you need to extend some kindness to? Who can you extend some affection to? How do you reciprocate? If someone has reached out to you, how do you reach back out to them and say, hey, I was thinking about you too. Let's reminisce a little bit about things that we have done. Let's plan for some things that we would like to do. As spiritual beings, having a human experience, connecting with one another is essential. It is essential for us to remain connected. And after the 2 years that we've all experienced, people here today and gone tomorrow, we can no longer not engage in affectionate practices because what will people say? What will people think? If you were present for meditation last week, we talked about love and nothing but love, and scared love ain't love at all. So please speak your piece when it comes to the people that you love, the people that you care for, and expand that thought right now into the work that you do. Do you even like what you do? Can you find something about what it is that you do on a day to day basis that absolutely supports you in comfort? It makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you feel good about how you may be serving others. And can you recognize and acknowledge the affection that is present in those spaces? We don't often like to talk about that in professional spaces because it can get some people in trouble. But take a deep breath right now and think about the week ahead, the places that you have to go. Do you want to go with a different mindset? Do you want to go with more care, more concern, more purpose? Take a deep, deep breath and visualize you walking into those places and spaces that you have probably entered into numerous times before, but now you're doing so with a different energy. Every single person you come in contact with is going to get a different version of you, more caring, more loving, more understanding of sometimes one word, one gesture is enough to change someone's entire day. And if we are going to focus on being more affectionate, we can do that in all of the interactions that we have on a daily basis. So start to think about, you know what, I'm going to smile more. I'm going to be kinder to myself and to others. I'm going to let some stuff go that wasn't really bothering me anyway. I'm going to make it a point to compliment people, to tell people what I think about them in the kindest way possible. I'm going to lead with love. And as Sabrina has listed all of the things that she is in her life, a mom, a wife, a stepmother, think about all of the different hats that you will be playing this week and how you can bring more affection into those spaces. Mm, I'm already thinking about meetings that I know that I have to have, and can I change my mindset? Instead of these are things that I don't like to do, let me find something about what it is I'm required to do where I can be more loving, where I can be more affectionate and more caring and more comforting. You can't tell me that every single one of us doesn't need more comfort in our lives. If you are engaged in a practice of comforting yourself or comforting others, your heart is so wide open, and that's a good place to be. We need more of it. Less criticism and judgment and more comfort. And if you are intending to be that one, take a deep breath and think about how you can put that in as a priority and in the forefront of your mind. We started with our face, simply smiling more, eye contact. Can you imagine that here we are after enduring all we have endured, that we won't even look people in the eye anymore. We don't even acknowledge each other's presence. The lack of care and concern that we are showing for one another is staggering, but we can change that. And no one should have to pay you in order to do that. Mm, I see you, honey. It seems like it's been missing, but it's in here. It's in each and every single one of us when we intend to, number one, give it to ourselves. Because you can't give something to others that you're not willing to give to yourself. And if you do, you're going to be in a deficit. I don't care if it's your money, I don't care what it is. If you are giving of something that you are not keeping for yourself and cultivating in yourself, you're going to be in a deficit. So please give it to yourself first. So if you say you don't remember, then remember being affectionate to yourself. What have you been doing just for you? I know we all out there doing everything for everybody else. At what point will you take a breath and say, I have to take care of me? I need affection. I need comfort. I need concern. I need recognition. And if I continue to wait for other people to give it to me, I'm going to starve. Breathe into that. We got 7 days. We almost in a whole new month. We got 3 more months left in this year. At what point are we going to really get intentional about taking care of ourselves, about giving ourselves what we need? Hey, sorry, my honey boo jumped on. So, for those of you who are breathing, and I hope that's all of us, breathe with intention and tell yourself this week, I'm going to be more affectionate. I'm going to start with myself. I'm going to check in with what are my needs? What do I need to do for myself? How am I going to show up for myself? One way, start with your face. Start looking at yourself differently, not with a critical eye. Don't nobody care how many gray hairs you got, how many wrinkles. It doesn't matter. What matters is there is kindness in your face. There is someone on this planet with 7 billion people. I want to have to guess that maybe more than two love to see your face. Do you love to see your face? Are you willing to be kinder and gentler to yourself and not so critical? Are you willing to look in your eyes and see the eyes of someone that is deeply in love with you? Because that needs to be you first. And are you willing to do that? And if you start there, then you might be able to get to the place where you are smiling at other people because you feel so good about yourself. Willing to extend kindness to other people because you feel so much of it in your own body. Willing to look at people differently and not as I just did. How can I block everybody out so nobody asks me a question? We get so isolated and so focused on let me do what I need to do and I don't want to interact with nobody. I don't want nobody talking to me. We are human beings and we don't even look at each other anymore. Where is the care, the concern, the affection, the love that each and every single one of us needs? We need it to live. So why not give it to ourselves and one another? You have the power to do that. Start with yourself and extend it out. Now, it's easy to give more affection to the people who already love you, but I guarantee you, they're never going to get enough of you. Are you giving your family and your friends the time, the attention, and the love that they deserve? Everybody take a breath. I'm not talking about your duties as a mom, as a wife, as a husband, as a father. I mean, are you looking at the people you love and telling them, I love you? I'm so glad you're in my life. I don't know what I would do without you. Are you turning off the TV and saying, come hold my hand, let's take a walk and spend time together? We couldn't possibly be spending the amount of time that we should be spending with one another because everybody going to the movies, everybody's watching TV, sports, whatever. How much time are you giving to the people that you love? Because none of us knows how much time we have. Take a deep breath. Be honest with yourself. Can I be giving my time, my love, my care, and my affection to my loved ones, or am I just automatically thinking, well, they love me? Love has to be cultivated, worked, just like anything else. It takes effort. Am I giving an effort to be more affectionate with my family? And if you're not, it could mean that you're challenged with giving it to yourself. Again, we can't give something that we're not already creating within us. And so maybe you cannot get to those level of intimacy with your family, your friends, because you haven't quite gotten there with yourself. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just commit to doing a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Wherever you feel like you closed your heart, I'm going to need you to open that sucker up. Open your heart up. You will not have the full experience of love with a closed heart. Sorry, not sorry. You cannot say you want love in your life, but also go through life like this, closed off, shut down, not giving any care or concern about how you feel or how others feel, or giving everything away. Take a deep breath. Think about what affection means to you. If it's just physical, then expand your consciousness. Remember, we were all on shutdown and we couldn't see each other. We couldn't get in contact with one another, couldn't hug one another, couldn't hold hands. We figured it out. We got on Zoom, we got on the phone, we sent mail through pigeons, whatever it was that we did to still stay connected, we were willing to do. Individuals willing to stand outside from afar just to wave. It's my birthday. Can y'all drive past my house? We figured it out. Just because we back outside doesn't mean that we go back to the way things were, because the way things were was not working. And so, when are we going to expand our consciousness around love and affection, where it's not limited to just physical touch or gifts, even if your love language is receiving gifts? Can't put a price tag on affection. You cannot put a price tag on someone who loves you, looking you in your eyes and saying, I am so grateful that I share space with you. You know, I really realize just how great my life is because you are a part of it. And I know that I am guilty of that as well. Just this morning, I said, I know I'm a good mother. I can always be better. I know I'm a good sister. I can always be better. I know I'm a good friend. There's always room for improvement so that we get to a deeper level of intimacy and togetherness. It starts here and extends outward. And if we all focus on loving ourselves more, we're going to have more than enough for everyone else. And so, for those of you who are similar to Sabrina, you're putting yourself last, I'm going to need you to cut that out. Self care is great, but it goes beyond that. I'm going to need you to get definitive on putting you first. It's not selfish. Please throw out that manual that told you everybody else gets the best of you and you get the least of you. Throw that out. It's not serving any purpose. There is no greater reward for you in heaven because you're down here killing yourself for everybody else. Take a deep breath. I said I wasn't going to yell at y'all. Now I feel like I'm yelling. Take a deep breath and let's think about what it means to put ourselves first. Hmm. As I am growing in my relationship with God, I recognize my relationship with myself is dependent upon me recognizing my relationship with God. So if I'm putting me last, in some ways I am putting God last because that's where I'm going first. And if I'm going there first and it's only me and God, how am I putting myself last? Take a deep breath and think about that. If there are requirements that God has for my life, how can I do them to the best of my ability if I'm putting myself last? How can I give more? How can I love more if I'm putting myself last? If I am depleted, how can I serve? If I don't have what I need, how can I give? If I'm not happy with me, with what I see, what I hear, what I feel, how can I extend that to others? Do I do it quietly where I'm smiling in public, but I'm sad and broken in private? You ain't never in private. God is with you always. How can I get to a point with the person everyone sees in public is the same that I know I am in private, where I'm not weeping alone, crying alone, feeling isolated and alone? How do I get to that point? I got to put me first. I have to start with me. I've got to talk about what it is that I need. I need to be in tune with what it is that I want and what I desire so that I can give it to myself. And so, as we have these next 7 days and we are transitioning into a new month, are you going to be committed and guided to making yourself a priority? I hope the answer is yes. And how do I do that? By being in connection with what's in your heart and by speaking the truth. I desire more affection in my life on all levels: physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. I want care and concern. I want to be recognized. I want to be loved. I want to be considered. I want to feel special. Speak your truth, whatever your truth sounds like. And if you have gotten to a place in your life where you're like, I don't need none of that stuff, I'd like to talk to you one on one so you can tell me why you don't need love, why you don't feel that that part of you deserves to be poured into, or why you think it needs to be limited. I can only speak for me, but I know that I have a bottomless pit where love continuously flows into. I don't ever want to say, I got more, I got enough, I don't need no more. I always need more love. Always, always. I'm going to always need care and concern and comfort. I'm going to always need it. And if you have managed to make it to this part of your life without it, I'd like to know how you did that. I'd like to know how one of the greatest things about you, you haven't touched into it, you haven't turned it on, you haven't given, or maybe you feel like it's only for you to give and not receive. Meditate on that. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, do I believe that I am deserving of affection? And if some things start to pop up like, well, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not settled enough. I'm not happy enough. Who told you that any of those things were a requirement for you to receive love? I don't know about the God of your understanding, but the God of my understanding has never said that there are requirements that I need to meet before I can receive love. I've received love all my life, even in those times when I didn't know it, even in those times when I couldn't feel it. I have always been taken care of. And for that, I am so grateful. And so, as we continue to breathe, think about all of the ways that we are going to make ourselves a priority this week, and that we are going to think about ways we can be more affectionate that go beyond the physical. Now, I ain't saying that anything's wrong with being physically affectionate. I like I like holding hands. I like snuggling. And boy, is this weather not the perfect weather for all of that? Hmm. But why would I limit myself to just physical affection when it is available in so many different other ways? Spiritually, I want to connect with people. Mentally, emotionally, I want to connect with people. I want someone to be like, you're really, really smart. And I want to recognize all the intelligent people that I know. Several of them are in this live right now. Some of the smartest people I freaking know. Some of the most witty and funniest people. And I know that in my life and in your life, we have the capacity to tell one another, you make life better. That's affectionate. Why are we not doing more of that? We sure like to criticize and complain, but how often are we engaging in affectionate practices where we are really touching people's souls? I have a friend, she's not on, she was on last week. I call her the crazy card lady. There's not a holiday that doesn't pass that I don't get a card from Patty. Patty is going to send you a Hallmark card for every holiday on the calendar and some that you didn't even know. That's affection. When you think about the effort it takes for somebody to get the card, get the stamp, put your address on it, put it in the mailbox, and send it off, not knowing when you're going to get it, not knowing how you're feeling, but it's an indication I'm thinking about you. I love you. We all have the capacity to do that in so many different ways. And so I guess maybe I'm challenging all of us to be more affectionate this week, be more caring and concerning. Be mindful when your tongue is about to go left when it could go right. I know I'm guilty of that. I know sometimes I want to be off to the races in terms of the things that I say. Doesn't mean that I can't say them, but I could say them in more loving ways. We all can. And I know I'm more than overdue with connecting with people that I haven't spoken to in quite some time to say, I, I love you. We on borrowed time. We don't know. And that's not to make anyone live in fear. I don't want anyone to live in fear, but I want us to live in love. And living in love is an active practice. If you waiting for somebody to love you, that ain't how that go. It's an active practice. You have to participate instead of wait for someone to fall in your lap. There are more than enough people to love, and they're already in your life. Give them some of what it is that you say that you're missing. Give yourself, give yourself whatever you think it is that you are missing so that you're not out here starving for it. And anyone that shows you any attention, you feel like jackpot. Because not everyone that shows you attention is really being affectionate. I hope you look at yourself in the mirror today, tomorrow, and give yourself what you need and just say, my God, how beautiful am I? My goodness, I can't wait for everybody to see my face because I feel so good about me. There's nothing wrong with you feeling good about you and then sharing that with other people. Because you know, when you feel good about you love to share that with other people. How many compliments can you give this week? How much encouragement can you give to yourself and to other people? We need it. I know I need it. So if y'all looking for somebody to give some encouragement, some love, some affection, I'm a willing participant. If there's anybody else, put it in the comments. Anybody else need more affection in their life? Tell the truth about it. Say me too. Send some my way. I'm not ashamed, and we should not be ashamed to say that we need more affection. I recognize it. When I'm all clingy with my children who are adults, that's not their job to supply me with all of my affection and concern and care. I got more than enough people that I can create that with, where I don't have to limit it to just my family and the people who like me. One of the most challenging things that any one of us can do is to show care and concern to people that we don't think deserve it. And those are the people who genuinely need it the most. And instead of being critical or judging, try something else. It takes a big, wide open heart to do that. To look at someone who may have offended you and say, you know what, I'm going to love you anyway. I'm going to love you from afar, but I'm going to love you anyway because I'm choosing to put love as a priority in my life. I'm caring about me. And if I'm caring about me, then I don't want any energy in my body, which makes me go left when I want to go right. And so I'm thankful for any opportunity that we can get to sit, take a breath, and think about how can I be more affectionate? And how can I expand my consciousness so it's not just limited to physical affection? It's mental, it's emotional, and more than anything, it's spiritual. How can I put that energy out in the universe? More affection. What a beautiful goal for all of us to have this week. I'm going to prioritize my own affection and where I can put it in the world because someone needs it. I need it. Again, if you're looking for some place to send it my way. If there's any other additional comments, concerns, I welcome them. I welcome any conversations. I got to show and plug that I have office hours on my website. My calendar is there. You can schedule some time to talk about how do I love myself. And you get unlimited amount of times to get it right, quote unquote, right. Don't limit yourself and think, well, I tried and it didn't work. Try something else. Do something else. But please don't give up on yourself where love is concerned, where affection is concerned, because it is an essential component of love. Care, concern, recognition, comfort. We need it. Your brain needs it to continue to grow. Your heart needs it to continue to grow. Your life needs it to continue to grow. You need the energy of affection. If there are no more comments, concerns, I'm going to get out of here and get ready for grandbaby girl to show up. I can't wait to see her face. I can't wait to see her face explode when she sees her grandma, her Gigi. And she does the same for me. And I get to see my daughter and my son-in-law. And I think that we all could do so much for each other if we exploded when we saw each other. It's something that the author Toni Morrison said, that anytime a child enters the room, everybody should explode with excitement because what that does for a young person's spirit. And I don't care how old I get, I'm still a kid. I want you to act like I'm the best thing walking when I come in the room because it does something to my soul and to my spirit. And I know that it does something for other people. And so let's be mindful of that this week as we think about different ways to put more affection in this world. I love y'all. And if there's any comment, concern that you want to share with me offline, there's my contact information. That's my website. All of my contact information is there. I welcome any conversation that you would like to have. Y'all continue to have a beautiful, affectionate Sunday. I love y'all. Until next Sunday. Bye bye.